This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, welcome back everyone. In our previous session, we delved into the the five major tasks of an IT business analyst, as we see over here. Now we'll progress further to look into the remaining general tasks that a typical project would have for an IT business analyst. Okay, the previous session went on a little longer, so this one I'll try to keep it short. We'll try to cover the remaining general task on ITBA, and that would be the major thing in this session. Okay, so the next task that is on the list is to explore the functional and the non-functional requirements. So these requirements actually are the foundation for any project delivery. Now, if we again look back into the same example of food delivery app, so there are a certain set of features in an app, like a customer should be able to select the food items, or should be able to make payments, or should be able to track the delivery journey, right? All those things. So these would be the features of your app. So that would be coming under the functional requirements. Whereas there are some other requirements which are not, the core requirements of your app, but still are required for a successful mobile app to be provided to the customer. So there could be some requirements like how fast is the app responding to the user inputs, or the security features in the payment, or the user experience, the look and feel of the app, all these things. There are a lot of other things that come into it. So all of these things are not the basic requirements of the app, but are still very much important. So those would fall under the non-functional requirements. In fact, we will get into the specifics of these, functional, non-functional, and other requirements later on. But for now, this is what you need to know, that as a BA, you would be responsible to document the functional requirements. When it comes to NFR, the non-functional requirements, it could also be the responsibility of your QA manager to take care of it, but you would be involved nonetheless in getting those details sorted out. Okay, so that's one more general task of an ITBA. The next thing is the other key responsibility, which is the market research and data analysis. So this is not a mandatory task for ITBA in every project, because there are instances where BA may be required to work on it. Mostly it may not be, but sometimes the BAs are expected to assess for example, the competitive products in the market. Like, if we have to look into example like launching a smartphone, for example. Now, maybe there is a sort of analysis that is required to be done into the features of the competitors' smartphones, and see what is standing out in their features, and then identify how your client's product can, be better or outshine them. Now, what is happening here is you're doing a little bit of market research, and sometimes you may be also using your, data visualization tools like Power BI or a Tableau, or some database management tools like SQL, etc., for this purpose, to get into those insights and all for these strategic decisions. So this market research and data analysis is also one more thing that can be the responsibility of a business analyst. The next thing, which would be there, of course, in every other project out there, is about engaging in the knowledge transfer sessions with the development and testing teams. So this is nothing but imagine like a scenario wherein you are taking part in a process where you're converting the business requirements into a language or into something which the developers and testers can understand. Okay, so in order to make this happen, you, who is the bridge between the business and tech teams, would be sharing all the information based on whatever you have documented earlier. So you share all that information, you clarify all the queries that the tech team has, you get back to the business team if there are certain things which you're not aware of, which you did not look into earlier, and now the tech team has brought out those points. So you get into all those points, and this would form the KT sessions, the knowledge transfer sessions that you would be doing. Okay, and The next thing is again playing a pivotal role in the user acceptance testing. Of course, supporting the testing. So when you talk about supporting the testing, it's about a situation wherein the team has tested a particular feature or a product, and you are doing a sort of a walkthrough of what has happened. Now you would be in a position where you can suggest some of the exception scenarios which got missed out, or some of the negative scenarios which were not captured. So as a BA, you would be suggesting the test team about how those test cases can be created, and then the testing team will do the required needful, and they'll come up with the status of it. The UAT process is nothing but whenever we completely develop and thoroughly test a particular application, you don't immediately launch it to the entire customer base of the client, right? You do a little bit of a pilot testing, a beta phase. Or prior to that, also, the client may say that, okay, there's a team of around these many people from my side who would want to do the user acceptance testing. So now these users would be completely new to what this product is, what it is supposed to be functioning like and all. And you as a BA would be leading that particular set of users into doing the user acceptance testing. So that this is of course something which happens in almost every other project. And your expertise in this is something which is, very indispensable in, looking into the gaps and the product final alignments of the product with what the client wants and things like that. Okay, so all in all, these are the major general tasks for an IT business analyst. But let me also put up a few important disclaimers. First thing is the list that we have seen here. How many are there? Roughly six, nine. Okay, this list is not exhaustive. What do I mean by that? The thing is that the role of a business analyst can be quite diverse, and it's very much flexible. So apart from what you have seen here, sometimes as a BA, you might be involved in a particular project in something like resource management or in project planning, okay, or in brainstorming with the client's team, things like that, or in leading the testing activities in the absence of a testing manager, for example. So these all are things which may be coming now and then in some projects, which is not mentioned in this list. And second disclaimer that I want to put is that there is no hard and fast rule that every project out there would expect you to work on all of these tasks. Okay, for example, already I've mentioned that market research and data analysis is like a one-off activity which might happen in very few projects, not in every project. Similarly, you might not be required to work on, for example, solutioning. And if the client is really having a very detailed approach in what they expect from a particular software deliverable, then there is very less scope of any scope creep or scope miss or solutioning or brainstorming or market research or anything like that to be required. Then it makes your work a lot easier as a BA, because in that scenario you would be working on requirements gathering, analysis, and then doing the KT with the test with the tech team, and then doing the UAT and supporting the testing team. That would be it. So you should be prepared to get into a project with an open mind and see what is the project setup, the type of project it is, the type of client that you're going to interact with, and how is your tech team. And according to that, you might have to, adapt yourself. Okay, so you need to be prepared for this dynamic nature of projects, and based on that, your responsibilities can evolve based on the project requirements. Okay, so all in all, this is about the major tasks of an IT business analyst. I hope things are clear. And also, I urge all of you to start, or if you have not started yet, start taking notes of every session that you're going through, because this will later be a lot helpful for you. And of course, if there are any queries, make a note of it, and we can definitely sort of look into it when we have a one-to-one discussion. Okay, thanks everyone.